The Bridgestone production car brigade boasted a new arrival at Aldo Scribante with single-seater ace Gavin Cronje driving a Sasol Nissan 350Z.
It's been a welcome opportunity from the Sasol Nissan team to race production cars in South Africa and in Class A, which is the top formula. So I'll take the opportunity and see what we can do with it.
Obviously you're coming out of open wheels mainly, coming into the tin tops as we call them. How have you been finding it? I know you've not had actually much time behind this car.
Yeah, we've had the testing session on Friday, and we tested prior to that on a Tuesday morning just to see what I'm capable of doing. And compared to the open wheels, it feels really slow because it's just so heavy. But I think all in all, the car's pretty good and pretty neutral, and do some work and get onto the pace.
The tight and twisty Aldo Scribante circuit suited Audi's Quattro models down to the tarmac, and after official qualifying, the all-wheel drive cars occupied the top 4 grid positions.
It's Audi's all the way for the first 4 grid positions, and you can see there's a large gap between these boys so that we don't have a repeat performance of what we saw the last time we came down here to the Aldo Scribante circuit. You can see that Terry Moss has done a lot of work around the circuit to make it spectator friendly, and as they go into turn 1, it's the My Car Sonex Audi of Melville Priest starting to put pressure onto the Engine Extreme car right up front of Michael Stephen.
We go on board with Michael Stephen looking back at second place, Melville Priest, and this is what it's all about. It's just a chain of all the Audis before we go back to the first of the rear-wheel drives, and that will be championship leader Leroy Poulter in the first of the Sasol Nissans.
As they come through West Bank now, you can see the Audi's working double time here up front, and under pressure in the background there, Johan Fourie in the Johan Fourie Racing Audi. He's under some pressure there from Sean Watson-Smith. A little bit further back, that's the metal paint Subaru of Sia Fourie getting forced wide by one of the dealer team Nissans there. I think that was Marco de Cunha, but here is the pressure up front. Michael Stephen hanging on for dear life.
Nice clean air for that man. He's done what he had to do, qualifying first and keeping away from all the problems behind him, because look at the two Nissans. That's Chop Sapuka and Leroy Poulter coming together. Team will not be happy.
Now, there's no team orders down in the Nissan camp, and it's going to be every man for himself, although Poulter is the man to watch out for. We go on board. You can see the onboard shot looking back at his rivals behind him. That's Chop Sapuka and Anthony Taylor in the background. In the foreground, it's Sean Watson-Smith onto the brake markers, 300, 200, 100, and into turn 1. It's still Audi's 1 to 4.
I saw on the rear shot there, Taylor has made his way through, so Taylor getting ahead of one of the Nissans there. I think it was Chop Sapuka that he got himself ahead of. So great to see the BMW driver clawing his way back after a dismal start to the season.
Out of West Bank now come the Audis, and right on their tail, the Nissan and BMW battle royal that's happening just behind them. Leroy Poulter starting to close into the back end. You can see Anthony Taylor taking evasive action. Chop Sapuka goes up the right-hand side, and looks like Etienne van der Linde and Taylor are putting Sapuka under some huge pressure here. Look at these two boys, Taylor and van der Linde. Castrol BMWs all over that Sasol Nissan.
Right, the two BMWs working together, trying to slide their way through the field. And watch out for when these guys come through. Oh, we've got a spinner there.
Oh,
we've got
Sapuka. Sapuka goes wide. I think he might have got a little tap there from one of the BMs. We said there was a lot of pressure. There he is, parked on the sideline. And that pressure didn't seem to pay off for Chops.
Right, so that BMW and Nissan battle certainly ended in tears. We picked up on, I think it was Sia Fourie, getting that Scooby-Doo all kinds of sideways off the circuit. And watch out for how dusty it is for the front runners.
Yeah, unfortunately, due to all the spectator embankments that have been put onto the side of the circuit, a lot of dust being put down on the circuit. So problems here for these Bridgestone tyres. They're going to have to work overtime, not only to keep the cars flat out around these corners, but also to try and get as much grip out of them as possible.
Poulter working hard there, and here's de Cunha, but look at Sia Fourie. Sia Fourie is coming through the field nicely, and as I say that...
Commentator's curse. He goes a bit wide. Metal paint Subaru, fortunately 4-wheel drive. Look at the change to the front. Oh, Melville Priest has got a problem. Melville Priest has got a problem. Looks like he's missed a gear going into Goodyear. Yes, he has. He's gone from 4th to 2nd as opposed to 4th to 3rd, and that has overcooked the motor and put it into limp mode.
But look at these top 3 Audis. Absolutely nothing can touch these at the moment. Big gaps before we go back to the first of the 2-wheel drives, and that was Leroy Poulter just coming through the shot there. Rear-wheel drive really struggling with these conditions, and that big gap on the grid.
Yeah, well, it's an Engine Extreme Audi up front there, and it's a sandwich for the Johan Fourie car. He's stuck in the middle of those two Engine Extreme Audis. But of course, the Engine National Race Day down here at Aldo Scribante, they're going to be happy with the performance of their two vehicles, sitting currently 1st and 3rd. A little further back there, waiting for him to come in a shot. Leroy Poulter, unable to catch the pace of the Audis.
Unfortunately, but he is ahead of the BMWs, and that's the battle they've had for the last couple of years, so he'll be very happy with that. Michael Stephen elated with his win.
At the back of the victorious Audi trio, Sean Watson-Smith set a new overall production car lap record around Aldo Scribante. But the man of the moment was race winner Michael Stephen.
I managed to get away from Melville in the first 3 laps and then just put my head down and go. Melville fell off, I don't know what happened to him, and then I had a nice gap over Jan and I just eased it off to the end, saved the tyres for the second race.
And that's what it's all about now. You start from the back now.
Yeah, that's where it's a bit unfortunate, but you know what, it provides exciting racing and hopefully we can come back from 8th on the grid and pull off another win.
Reverse grid as they go across the line, and leading for the first time ever in his production car career, it's Gavin Cronier, the man who's taken over the drive from Gary Fumato, heading down towards turn 1. Look at Sapuka.
Sapuka came from absolutely nowhere, just chucking himself in there. This is very, very tight. This is very, very dangerous. All these cars going through, they'll be touching of bodywork, touching of tyres. Everyone's getting sideways. I think that was Sapuka, or was it Poulter? People are getting knocked left, right and centre.
It was Poulter who's getting it sideways. So is Sapuka. Oh, a little touch there from Sapuka. He runs wide, and he comes out of Continental S's on the dirt, keeping the foot flat. You can see that rear-wheel drive working overtime. They come through Westbank. It's Castrol BMW out in front. That's Clint Weston right on his tail. Gavin Cronier, and he's pushing hard to keep Melville Priest at bay. Melville Priest with the best of the start so far. Etienne van der Linde, of course, Melville Priest is the man who had problems in the first heat. Hopefully he's not going to have here in the second. Oh, here we go. Problems. Speaking of problems, look at that. It's an Audi just forcing his way through. You can't drive through the car, sir.
Poulter completely sideways and just getting shoved along the track by the Audis, and it is just bedlam out there. Look at that. People going left, right and centre. Sief Fourie got his way through. I think that was the Subaru off-road skills coming into play one more time. But we've lost both the Engine Extreme Audis. We've lost Poulter, and I think we've lost Sapuka.
Yeah, there's a good possibility up front. It's still Clint Weston, Gavin Cronier pushing hard. Then we've got Johan Fourie Racing's Johan Fourie, and then we go back to Anthony Taylor. Sief Fourie is stuck in 5th place in the Subaru. That's the metal paint Subaru. Then it's the second of those, that's Sapuka. So Sapuka is still there. Then we go to Marco Acuna. Peter Lindenberg battling hard, and he's battling with Clint Weston, who's dropped out of the forces, unfortunately, due to that incident as they went through Bridgestone.
Look at that. Not happy faces in the Engine Extreme Audi camp. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot to talk about after this race.
Well, Michael Stephen, I'm not quite sure what you got worried about, but you can't drive through a Nissan. You have to hit the brakes and let him get out of the way before you can drive through. And unfortunately, that's cost you a little bit of time. You can see that Leroy Poulter is out of this as well. That's going to be huge for the championship.
So in second place, that's his teammate Cronier. And it's great to see a new face up there holding his own. We go on board with Cronier as one of the BMs. Looks like he's gone way wide. Was that Weston?
No, it was Taylor. Taylor's run wide, unfortunately. So Taylor was leading, and he's run wide. Gavin Cronier takes the lead. Johan Fourie into second place now. Anthony Taylor hangs on. It's Etienne van der Linde just behind him, and then Sief Fourie. But it's the battle between these two Castrol BMWs, the Johan Fourie Racing Audi, and up front, Sassel Nissan.
So Cronier, in only his second race out there in production cars, has the lead, but it's not for long. There goes the championship leader now, and that is in the shape of Johan Fourie, and no one is going to catch that Audi at this stage. He certainly knows his way around this track, and with all the dirt on, the four-wheel drive certainly going to be working for him.
Especially as they come through Bridgestone Corner. That's going to be, well, the Bridgestone production cars going through Bridgestone Corner up towards Goodyear now. As they come out of Goodyear, it looks like Taylor's looking for a way past Cronier. Hasn't found it just yet, but it's definitely a quicker Castrol BMW in the background there of that Nissan. Speaking of Nissans,
Poulter, championship, just watching it slip away.
Yeah, the good possibility of a DNF here is going to be some major problems. Oh, where is Gavin Cronier going? Oh, he's using a little bit of his rally skills. He's using a little bit of his A1 Grand Prix skills, and he's run wide.
He had a lot of pressure from Taylor. Taylor taking a very tight line up the inside, and that's allowed Sief Fourie to come through as well. So Cronier, the first of the Sassel Nissan, still running, unfortunately dropping back. That gives the win to Johan Fourie. Lights ablaze.
Johan Fourie's win boosted his 2007 title aspirations, while the BMW team was happy with its first podium places of the season. Castrol BMW driver Anthony Taylor explained.
Yeah, well, thank goodness for the good inversion. I think, yeah, there was a bit of mayhem behind. I think Axel a bit desperate, but yeah, it's always the right place to be, is in the sharp end of the field. So I managed to stay out of it. Unfortunately, we got caught on a bit of oil coming into Chevy Sweep, and I ran wide, and then Gavin and Johan came past, and I thought, oh well, there goes that. Then anyway, I managed to hang on to Gavin, and eventually got past him. He also slid on the wheel. Then I just couldn't catch Johan. He was just too strong.